What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about pricing of these video games across the board. Console pricing being what I think is the most unfair of all of the price points, because for some reason it appears that because the console manufacturers know or think that they have you in their ecosystem, they can probably set their pricing to be a little bit different, and they control their ecosystems. So they have licensing fees, and they probably maybe have some other fees that we don't know about that they probably are requesting from the publishers or the developers. Now here's the challenge. The percentage fee that is actually collected by a lot of these console companies in terms of what they get from publishers and developers is largely unknown to me. I've been looking around trying to do some research to find it, but I can't seem to find anything. So any of you in the comment section who are here in the community, some of you are really good at finding out all this stuff. If you can clue me into where to go, I'll be very happy to see it. Now, this does not also take away the responsibility from the publishers and the developers. I think many of them can even charge less for their games if they really wanted to, but for the most part, they don't do so. And some of them will, depending on if it's an indie game, the length of the game, or whatever the game is. But one thing that I've noticed too is it doesn't really matter if you're a thrift shopper like me. You will just wait a little bit and you'll be able to get the game on sale, or maybe it will show up on a subscription down the road. So you can always use that and leverage that to your advantage as well. Today, nonetheless, we're going to be looking at Gotham Knights. We're going to be looking at its different price points on different platforms. This is something that, has really baffled me. If you look at, say, perhaps the PC version of Gotham Knights on Steam, you're looking at the standard edition for $60 and you're looking at the deluxe edition for $80. If you come to, say, maybe, the PlayStation Store, it's $70 for the standard edition and it's $90 for the digital deluxe edition. Now, keep in mind, there's the argument about the console FPS and how that's locked at 30 compared to PC, where you're getting a 60 FPS performance and so on and so forth. But ladies and gentlemen, let's also be fair. Your PC machine can actually play it at 60 FPS. That's why you're getting that lock. Your console machine is not able to play the game in the way they have it. And I explained some of this stuff in my other videos about the hardware of, the so-called current gen consoles and all of that. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend it to you because it really does show how a huge set of metrics were done to compare hardware from PC and the PS5, and it showed that even if you go back and look at, say, the minimum requirements to get the 60 FPS, the hardware that was actually being used from PC was so old, and it really almost outclassed the console, the PS5 console. So I think that's probably where my argument ends. I'm not going to put the argument in front of you saying, well, but a gaming PC costs more than a console. Yes, that could be an argument that I use, but it doesn't really factor in here. I think the best argument to actually go with is the capability of the machine to be able to run that. And you can probably leave that right there, because you have to factor in one thing. The company that controls the PC digital store or PC digital stores actually gets to set the prices that you're going to be seeing in this regard. So that's probably another thing that you have to take into consideration. Now, there are also other digital stores that sell Steam keys as well, and they are able to leverage regional pricing to be able to give you the game at a much cheaper price than you can get on the Steam store. Example, if you look here on CD Keys, they have the deluxe edition for $57.49 and the standard edition for $44.29. Now, if you want to know how CD Keys is able to keep their prices low, you can go to their FAQ pages and their FAQ page, and it will basically tell you how they're able to use regional pricing, which apparently is legal, to be able to get you the best pricing that you can actually get. So because, keys are sold across the world at different price points, or games are actually sold, software in general for the most part will be sold across the world to, factor in GDP of different countries and stuff. And they're able to do that to be able to get good pricing. And there's not just one of them that's actually legitimate. There are actually about 2 or 3 of them. They're not a lot. Green Man Gaming is another one. And they're also one of the more legitimate official retailer when it comes to games. They get their games directly from the publisher. Notice they say that here. And they're also selling the digital edition for $70, and they're also selling the standard edition for $52. So you already see that there is some competition, and it's decentralized. Even when you come to CD keys, you can even buy some PlayStation keys for some games and some Xbox keys, and you're still going to get some slight discounts depending on the region you are. If you notice, It's $94 for the deluxe edition on the Xbox, and the standard edition is $72 in terms of UK currency. I guess it's factoring it in pounds and converting it to dollars. But then if you come to say the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store, you're going to see that these games are quite high. I bought the standard edition for Xbox, and I also got the PC edition on CD keys, and still my standard edition is $70, and my digital deluxe edition, I think I bought it when it was $60, but it's still like almost $20 less than, I'm sorry, I said almost $20. I take that back. It's about $10 less than the standard edition on console. So what is broken here? I think overall, the way console, manufacturers, that's Microsoft and Sony, have the ecosystem so closed out and controlled, they're able to basically do this and not have much ramifications. On the PC side, here's what I think happened. You see, as the new generation of consoles were rolling in, these manufacturers started to kind of like highlight, games are going to get more expensive. And publishers also liked the way that sounded. So they were like, yeah, games are going to get more expensive. But on the PC side, there was already some competition brewing. First, there was regional pricing that Steam was having to deal with. There was also other possibilities as well, where other publishers could actually sell their games outside of Steam because they had such a big enough audience. They had the infrastructure as well to do it. Now, I'm showing you guys Steam, but one thing that you also have to realize is there are some games from big publishers that are not on Steam. Example is Ubisoft. Ubisoft released Tom Clancy's The Division 2, and they did not put a Steam version out here. They have a Division 1 version, but they decided that they were going to sell that game directly on their own store. Now, why was that the case? Around that time, there was a lot of competition going on here on PC, and because of Steam's fee, Steam takes a 30% fee or so every time you sell a game. They went ahead and just published it on their own platform and took all the profits to themselves. And at that time, Epic Games came out as well and started taking a much less percentage. So Epic Games was really challenging Steam, and instead of taking 30%, they were taking only 12% at that time. So you, the publisher, had an incentive to publish your game on the Epic Games Store, and even sometimes you could publish it on the Epic Games Store exclusively for a year, like a timed exclusive, because Epic Games is also paying them and making that kind of, grow their ecosystem as well. That was when we had our exclusivity, by the way. I know console people say, oh, exclusives. We had that bout too. It didn't really work out as a good strategy. It wasn't really the best look for Epic Games for the most part. Now they do it with much smaller games. I don't think they've done it with bigger games in a while. At first too, there were leaks that Epic Games was actually trying to, get Sony to bring their exclusives to their platform exclusively for a while. But I think Sony kind of understood that, hey, Steam has a really bigger audience, and so there's just no way that they were going to go ahead and do that. I think, in my opinion, this is what probably stayed the hand of Steam from actually allowing for these publishers to raise their prices, because what do they care? They're doing a 30% split, so if they raise their price, Steam just makes more money, and that's the publisher's problem. But so far, so good. It appears the way the competition has gone, it's kind of deterred the extreme pricing on PC like we're seeing on console. Another thing, too, that I think factors into this, and sorry for this brightness that I'm changing here, I can't seem to get dark mode going on these other sites. And one thing that I'm seeing that's a trend here, too, is we have to also understand that PC gamers, they play their games differently from any other kind of audience that I've seen. For some strange reason, especially on Steam, the Steam community would do some really weird stuff, like they'll wait for a sale. Steam has a lot of sales that go on during the year, like the Steam Summer Sale. This is supposedly like a huge Black Friday thing or some tradition on PC where you wait and wait and wait, and when the Steam Summer Sale comes around, your job is to get in there and rack up as many games as you possibly can. So you have folks that are literally just saving their money all through the year, and not necessarily doing anything or buying any games. And when these sales come around, all they just do is just wait ahead and then do it. And then there are also special offers that keep going on as well. Sometimes they'll correlate with console, like say if there's a publisher or whatever it is. And this is usually when a lot of PC players will buy a bunch of games. And this is why you see many PC players say, oh yeah, my game library has got 300 games and stuff. It's one of those things that a lot of folks do as well. And so this is how they buy their games. So they're buying their games here. There's regional pricing that has to also compete with Steam as well. There's Epic Games Store that competes as well. And even Epic Games Store I mean, I wish I could really show you how many deals they have. They give out so many free games already. This is also another market pressure on this side. If I show you my Epic Games library, you're going to, I don't know, some of you may have an Epic Games library, and if you don't have one, create one. It's free. You don't really have to do anything. And they give out free games every time. Check it out. So here, it's not loading for some strange reason, but they have a lot of free games that they're giving every time that, there it is. Almost every other week, they'll give out 2 free games. And in fact, in the same week that Gotham Knights comes out, Fallout 3 is going to be free. So you can come here, create an Epic Games account, and go in there and grab yourself a free game. Just add it to your library. If you don't have a PC that can play it, no problem. If you go to my library, I think I've only purchased about 5 games on the Epic Games Store. But altogether, I have over 70 games that's here. They even gave out the Arkham games, and the 80th, when Batman did the 80th anniversary, they gave out 3 of the Arkham games and a bunch of Lego games. They didn't give out Origins. For some reason, Origins doesn't count apparently, but yeah, they gave out all this stuff, and they still keep giving out all these games. I think I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey here, and I think they gave out Syndicate, if I'm not, wrong. And they give out a Plague Tale, the first one. It's everywhere. It's on Game Pass and all the above. But this is something that, really also bears another market pressure on the Steam store. And Epic Games is doing it purposefully to make people start to come into their ecosystem. And I can tell you, the only games I bought here, Borderlands 3, Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 was given for free, but I still bought 2015 because I didn't even know I had 2018. I just claimed them, and I don't even know I have them. Control was given for free. City Skylines, they've given that for free many a time. What's the name? What are the other ones over here that are actually like top names that you can see? Football Manager 2021, they gave it for free. 2022, they gave it for free. I haven't even played them. I just keep adding them to my library. Frostpunk, they gave that for free. The Ghostbusters game, GTA 5, never paid with my money. I bought Godfall. I still am annoyed at that purchase, but it is what it is. And so you go ahead and you see that, man, there are so many free games out here. Just Cause 4, that was also given for free. I didn't pay for that. And these Lego Batman games, and I also paid for Metro Exodus as well. This is where I first bought Metro Exodus. I enjoyed that game. That was a good buy. And so when you kind of think about it, the two ecosystems are actually quite different, and there are market forces that are driving it down. On the console side, nonetheless, there really isn't a lot of players out there. Now, I have to also say that if you are looking for maybe other external players, you can look at, say, maybe physical retail stores. But physical retail stores sometimes are priced high, in my opinion, except they can do price matches or they get like an influx of capital like GameStop has. GameStop is being carried by the gamers, basically. And last holiday season, they did a lot of sales. They matched the PlayStation Store. They even beat them in prices for their physical games. So not unless that culture continues to, get more and more prevalent, are we going to be seeing that these console prices are coming down? Because right now, man, I can tell you that these pricing is absolutely horrendous when it comes to what is being, done here in terms of console pricing. Because again, what a lot of people are thinking is, why can't we play Gotham Knights on console at 60 FPS and, on PC they can play at 60 FPS, but we get to pay more. This is something that comes from both the publisher and the manufacturer of the console, as well as the console platform themselves. They're the ones that made a console that is not as strong. First of all, it is strong, but is not as strong. And then second of all, they're the ones that are actually, setting the pricing to be somewhat loose so that the publishers can also benefit from higher prices. That's also another thing. So because we don't really know what their agreements are 100%, we're not certain, but this is a major player in terms of where they make their most, profits from. Because yes, they take a loss on their consoles, but they make profits here. So the pricing is what they're actually passing on to the customer. If you want to break away from this particular ecosystem, you can do so. You can basically take your time, strategize, and build a PC. Because I can tell you, man, they are raking in the bucks from using, their platforms, to make money from Xbox Live subscription, PlayStation Plus subscriptions. And then now they're adding another tier of PlayStation Plus subscriptions, whereas you could just get Game Pass. That's why Microsoft has the best value proposition. Or you can add Game Pass to your Xbox Live, subscription as well. But it is making them a lot of money. But anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and talk on this briefly and provide some insight, and we could look at some numbers and we can go from there just to inform you guys here in the community as to why some of these factors are kind of weird and it's not easy to compare them, in a one-to-one sense. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.